All right, it's this week's edition of Ryan's World. I'm your host, as always, Ryan Payne, along with Frankie. Laura, Teria.
Come on,
Frankie, the delay.
I almost called you Francesca and I knew you would have been really, really upset. So I took the time to make sure I said it correctly. So how's that?
I think you'd be upset with me. Francesca's the real name when you're mad at someone. No. Francesca. Anywho.
Well, I would never want to chastise you at the beginning of the show.
I haven't angered you yet.
Not yet. But anyway, we're here this week. As always, we bring an entrepreneur to you, and it's sponsored by Payne Capital Management. And basically what we do is we help entrepreneurs like you with all of your financial planning. Everything from wills, trusts, retirement plans. We're your one-stop shop for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. And this week, we have a very exciting entrepreneur. Frankie, why don't you give us the rundown?
So today we are here with Caitlin Makary with Dank Brooklyn. So Caitlin, tell us all about Dank Brooklyn. You make delicious banana bread.
Yes.
Vegan.
Yes, vegan banana bread. That's what we make. That's the only thing that we make.
So one product, simple,
One,
keep it
yeah,
simple, which is good.
Yeah. Right now we sell mostly in coffee shops, but they're also in a couple climbing gyms around Manhattan and Brooklyn. We're in 25 locations right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
25 locations. Wow. And you've been only doing it for like a year?
Yep.
That's a lot of growth in 1 year.
Thank you.
And it was all organic, right? A lot of like word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's delicious products that people just keep talking about.
Yeah, word of mouth, and then a lot of cold calling. You know, just walking in places, talking to coffee shop owners and managers, and people have been responding really well to it.
So it's just as simple as you came up with a product, which you're not a baker by trade from our conversation ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that's another story altogether. How did you come up with this like great banana bread, which we're going to try on the show here? And Frankie will be the judge. It's really good
Great
banana bread.
bread.
She hasn't
We'll
had
let
bread
you
since
know.
Lent started, so I feel like it's a little unfair. It'll still taste like the best bread because you haven't had it since Lent. So I just starving for bread.
Oh my god, this bread is so good.
A little unfair, but I'll take it.
A little biased. Just in general bubbly, so. Delicious.
So I went to school at Pratt Institute and for clothing design, and that's what I worked in the last almost 10 years. And then last year I decided to start Dank. I made banana bread for friends when we go on climbing trips and when we go out on the weekends, and everyone really liked it. And so one thing just kind of like led to another, and I was freelancing at a job and just had some extra days in the week and had some money coming in, and so I decided to give it a shot because basically I just didn't want to get another job doing what I had been doing, so I figured I'd try it out.
Is there any way you can kind of connect that? I like that you just said I had some free time, so I figured, hey, I sell banana bread. I mean, that's the first thing that would come to my mind.
Let's become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What am I doing today? Let's become an entrepreneur.
It's kind of interesting. Were you able to use your design background when it came to applying it to your entrepreneurial journey?
Definitely. I mean, the whole company was actually approached from a design perspective. Like before I even wrote the recipe down that I was using, I had the logo and like the colors and the graphics and the website up. Yeah. To the point that after we'd already been doing business for like 6 months, a family friend, I was just talking to them about the business and how everything had been going, and he said that he had seen the website and that he thought it was really cool, and like you could get the vibe of the brand, but he suggested putting more information about the actual bread on the website. And I was like, oh right, there's that too.
This isn't just about you. You actually have a product.
Yeah, I just had fun with the whole look of it. So, that's kind of where I come from, and that's where it started. Yeah.
Well, definitely check out the website. Ryan and I were taking a look at it, and it's very cool. You're on your motorcycle, you have your helmet on.
It's like right out of Daft Punk. Like you
It
can't
does,
see her
it does.
face.
You can't see her face, but she's like
like
standing behind this like motorcycle, looking super cool.
I was thinking, like, how can you bake the bread with that motorcycle? It must be impossible.
I just imagine you delivering it like on the motorcycle and just like
I did do that.
lightning and like
I did
your helmet off.
do the deliveries on the motorcycle. Started out with that because I don't have a car, so I had a Tupperware bin that was about this big on the back of the bike, and would just
bigger than you, basically.
Yeah. Just like swerving through the streets of Brooklyn trying.
Yeah. Actually, my mom was here once when I took her on the delivery route with me, so she's on the back, and the box on the back of that.
And we're
like white lining on the Williamsburg Bridge,
yeah.
and she's like, I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, nothing's kind of interesting. So 1 year, which is actually that's short time to be in business, and to be in already 20 different locations. How did you scale up so quickly? I mean, you said you cold called a lot. You just walked into different places. It sounds like rock climbing gyms is a real niche for you. So I mean, if I'm an aspiring entrepreneur, I'm trying to figure out how to get my brand out there. I mean, that's a lot of growth in a short period of time, or distribution network anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things. I started out baking at my sister's bar and restaurant, and so we'd be there overnight, 3 nights a week when they weren't open, and that was such a great place to get started because it was a commercial kitchen, and it was much larger and more efficient than if I had tried to do it at my house.
Right.
But and so we did things in a certain way there. We didn't have a mixer; everything was hand mixed. Just the whole process was kind of invented because I wasn't sure. Like I didn't have a background in it, so I just did what
just made it up as you
what made sense to me.
Yeah,
but
right.
Then once we moved into the bigger kitchen that I'm at now, because I bake out of Brooklyn Food Works in Bed-Stuy.
Sure.
So it's a shared rental kitchen. And so once I got there and we did have the equipment and the space, I had a couple different bakers consult with me about my process to try and streamline things. And
kind of reverse engineer a little bit. Yeah.
And even like the baker that works with me every shift now, she's so great because she'll really be keeping an eye on the process and make suggestions when she notices things come out better than others.
Right.
And we've just been able to, I mean, we can produce the amount of bread that we used to in a week, just the two of us in 4 hours now, because the process has just been like refined so many times. So we're constantly trying to improve that, which is what helped us grow. I also, besides the product's really good, so it's kind of easy to bring it to people. I don't need to take over a whole pastry case. People can try it and not have a whole lot of risk there. I'm not really sure. Besides that, it's just like a nice niche. It's vegan. It just kind of works for people, and so
and it's as simple as you walking into some place that you know might be a good fit and being like, hey, would you be interested?
Pretty much.
Buy our bread.
Yeah. There's not really like a sales pitch. Like, do you guys like banana bread?
This must be really good banana bread.
If you're just like in a coffee shop, you're hanging out, you need banana bread.
We need to open this up, Frankie.
Okay.
But yeah, the climbing community has been a massive support system for me because besides the fact that they sell it at the gym, it's a really diverse group of people and everyone has different skill sets and different resource bases, but we all climb. So my financial advisor that I work with is a climbing friend. 1 or 2 of my accounts, I had connections with people through climbing. And so it's just been like, even just emotional support has been really a good group of people.
Yeah, it's true, especially on the financial side. So you have guidance there.
Yes.
What are some of the financial challenges that you have that you rely on an advisor for? Because we work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and that's one of the things that we work on. So for you, what are those challenges?
At the very beginning, just knowing if I even costed it properly to make a profit. Like I didn't know. I gauged it. But I had no idea. And so until he ran on my numbers and just kind of confirmed that it was going to be profitable with all the costs that I had, or even projected costs. So that helped a lot. And then recently he transitioned me into using QuickBooks because he had built me an order tracking tool so I could see all my orders over time and who owed me money. And so he just put me into a new program and it generates my invoices and I can see who owes me money. I can check stuff off that's been paid. And I mean, I wouldn't be able to be the scale I'm at now without his help because I just would be spending so much time. I mean, I was creating my invoices on Adobe Illustrator because I'm a designer and that's the only program.
Right. They probably look beautiful since you're a designer.
I'm literally moving text blocks around and he's just like, what are you doing?
This is great, by the way.
You already started there?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So it sounds like, I mean, a lot of your challenges and what you've been able to do is it's all about scalability. Anything you can scale up, whether it was the process of making the bread, even to your quick.
Sweet.
Give me a creative suite.
As like a
which is a higher end version for creative people. And I guess just maybe one. In your entrepreneurial journey, which is, I mean, it's amazing in a year that you've come as far as you have, one piece of advice that you could give our audience on just, one thing you've really learned from the process that you think you could share with us today?
I think just being really realistic about whether what you have to offer is necessary in the market, if there's a hole for it in the market, if you can produce it at a scale that will make you any kind of money. I mean, my whole background was in clothing design, and so you go into school thinking I'm gonna have my own clothing line, and even when you're working with other small companies or other jobs, it's kind of always the goal in a way to work for yourself and kind of get your stuff out there. But I don't really think it like the world. I mean, I love the clothes that I make, but I just feel like, well, who cares? Like, is it necessary out there? I don't really think so. I mean, with things like H&M and Zara kind of taking over, like it's just too hard. It's too hard to finance it. It's too hard to scale it. It's too hard to get noticed without being someone who does have tons of connections with people or just a ton of money. And so, while I had no experience in this, I did have a really good group of people that could help me out with the stuff I didn't know. And when I started to think about making it a company, I went around to coffee shops, and no one's really done banana bread yet. There's been cupcakes and the rainbow bagel and all these other kind of things that have had their moment, but banana bread was still kind of there.
You found a niche. You found a niche, right? Instead of build it and they will come. Figure out what's missing in the market. And build that, right?
And just be realistic again about the money. I always told myself that if I went into debt, that was it. The company's done. I'm not going to start racking up stuff on a credit card. This whole thing's been self-financed, and so
that's awesome.
It was the overhead was just doable for me, and because I have had friends that have started companies who have gained traction with PR and having celebrities carry their handbags and all this stuff, but then they end up 30 grand in debt, and it's just and then you're back at work anyway because you're working your way out of a hole, and so I just really didn't want that to happen. And
so a very realistic approach in everything you did.
And because it's such a small thing, at the beginning I could just do all the work myself, I could do all the baking, all the delivering, everything else, and then it's just sweat equity, I didn't have to spend on that.
Totally.
And it was lucky that I know the design stuff because I didn't have to pay anybody for graphic design, the website,
and
all that stuff that kind of matters.
Before the bread, there was the design stuff.
Before the bread.
Before the bread. That's awesome. And I think, from Frankie, what did you glean from today's show?
The gleaning portion of this segment. Delegation. I think that is a huge task of everyday entrepreneurial, everyday just working, is just being able to say, I don't know this, I need help. And doing that, I think that's, amazing that you did it, and amazing that you're able to have these connections with people and feel comfortable to reach out to them and say, I know this, I'm awesome at this, I'm not awesome at this, can you help me? I think that's amazing. I think that's really what pushed you.
Yeah, my biggest strength, I do think, is just knowing that I don't know a lot of things. So,
What makes you the wisest man?
I'd rather be lucky than good, or exactly.
That's why you're the wisest banana bread baker. You know what you know now.
Out of the thousands of vegan ones in Brooklyn. Well, it was amazing having you on the show.
Thank you.
It's great to learn about your business. Dank Brooklyn, you have to check it out. Check the link above or below, depending on where you're watching this. This has been this edition of Ryan's World. We'll see you next week. It's Ryan, Frankie, not Francesca. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.